Hello guys, welcome back to Happy Knits and Crochet Collection. My name is Charity. Yeah, and thanks for stopping by. For those who are new in the channel, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell, then become part of the family. And thanks for choosing the channel to learn more about crochet and knitting. So in our today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I came up with such a pattern. So this is a piece of cloth that I'm making. I got the tutorial from YouTube, and it is made of the granny square pattern. So I'm going to show you how I made the pattern. So I've been learning it on YouTube, and I thought of showing you guys how I made the pattern. So you look closely, it is made of 4 squares. Those are the diagonals, and in the diagonals we are going to make the increasement. So we are going to start with the magic ring. So if you don't know how to make the magic ring, so please get back to one of my videos and learn how to make a magic ring. Also, what you need to know is how to make the double crochet stitch. You also need to know that and making chains. So we are going to start by the magic ring, then make clusters of double crochets. So and we will be only adding at the corner so that you can come up with such patterns. So I'm going to show you how to make that. Yeah, so stay tuned. Don't forget to watch until the end. So you're going to get into the video, and that is a cardigan that I'm making. I'll show you when I'm done with it. Yeah, so let's start the video. So in our project we only need a yarn, a chunky yarn for the beginner. So I'm going to take you step by step and friendly beginner. So the yarn, it is chunky yarn that I got from the ribbon company. That is 100% acrylic. Yeah, that is a medium roasted weight yarn. You also need a pair of you also need a hook. That is 6mm hook. That's the one that I'm using. For the beginners, you can use 5mm hook or 5.5mm hook, but I'll be using the 6mm hook. You also need a pair of scissors. You also need a tapestry needle for weaving in your work. So you having those items, you can be able to make the project. So we are going to start by making the magic ring. Take your yarn and you're going to wrap it around your 2 index fingers. So you're going to wrap the first round, then the second round making a little close around behind the fingers. So that's the cross. Then using your hook, you are going to insert it in the first yarn that you wrapped. Then over the second one, you're going to make a little twist and pull it through, making the little twist, then remove your fingers. So if you really need to know how to make the magic ring step by step, I'm going to put a link below so that you can click it and view the video. So you're going to make a chain of 3, and you're going to be working around the magic ring. So you're going to make 2 double crochets in the magic ring. So that's one. The chain 3 stitch acts as one of the double crochet. So that's the second one. Then you're going to make the third one by wrapping your yarn around the hook, inserting it into the magic ring, then yarning over and pulling through. Then you have 3 yarns through loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2, then yarn over and pull through the second 2. After that, you're going to chain 1, then make another cluster of 3 double crochets. So I said before that we'll be working with clusters of 3 double crochets separated by a chain 1 stitch. So that's the second cluster. So we are going to make 3 double crochets in between there. Those are the first 2. Then you're going to add another one. By doing that, you're going to be making another cluster of 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1 and make 3 more double crochets that make up the third cluster of the granny square pattern. So there should be 4 clusters. So you can also drag the yarn downwards and adjust the space between the magic ring. So you're going to finish with the third cluster by making those three double crochets, then chain one and make 3 more double crochets in between in the magic ring. So you're going to yarn over the hook, insert the hook in the space, yarn over and pull through the first two and through the second two. So making the third one and completing that cluster point, those clusters, you're going to chain one, then okay, you have to adjust so that the circle might be small, it should be small, so you're done with working there. So you're going to chain one, then join the fourth cluster with the first cluster. So you're going to join what we have the chain 3 space. On top of it, you're going to join with a slip stitch. Also, if you don't know how to make a slip stitch, please go back to one of my videos that I showed you guys how to make the slip stitch. So you're going to yarn over, then pull through the top of the three chains, then on the other side of the chain one space. So those are the 4 clusters separated by chain one space. So we have 4 corners, so we are going to be adding on each and every corner. So we're going to start the next row by chaining 3, then on the previous chain one space where we made the last one, we're going to make 2 more double crochets. So we said that the chain 3 space counts as a double crochet, so we're going to insert 2 more double crochet in there so that you can have a full cluster of 3 double crochets. Then proceeding to that will count as a half a corner. So in our corners we'll be making 2 clusters of double crochets separated by a chain one space. So moving to the second one, we are going to insert a cluster of 3 double crochets in between them. Through that two, going to make the third one, then chain one, make another cluster in the same space. So that is the increment that I was talking about. So in each and every corner that you get to, you will be making 2 clusters of 3 double crochets, then separating them by chain one space. So into the third one, you're going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets, that is 2. The third one, you're going to make them, then chain one and add another cluster of 3 double crochet in the same stitch. So that's how you'll be working, making your increment in each and every corner. Then there will be other chain one spaces that will be formed in between the corners. Those 2 spaces you'll be only putting a cluster of 3 double crochets, then chain one and proceed to the next one. There will be no increment in between the corners. So you'll only be adding at the diagonals of the circle there so that you can continue keeping the shape of the corner. Yeah, and sorry guys, I didn't realize that the work was out of the camera. So getting to the last one, finishing the last one, so you're going to chain one, then in the first one we made only 1 cluster of 3 double crochets, so you're going to add another cluster of 3 double crochets that will be showing us on how we are going to enlarge that corner. So you're going to chain 1 and then join that with a slip stitch on that place that we made our chain 3 space. So that's how you work with the granny square pattern, making your increment at the corners. Yeah, so if you look closely, you can see that the square is enlarging and you are keeping the corners sharp. So you're going to chain 3, and on the previous chain 1 space you're going to put 2 double crochets, making the cluster of 3. We said that the chain 3 space works as a double crochet, so that is a half a corner. So when you're finishing your row, you'll have to add a cluster of chain 3, then join by a slip stitch. So that's the middle space that we are talking about, and in those middle chain 1 spaces will only be needed to add a cluster of 3 double crochets, then chain 1 and move on according to the number of spaces in between the corners. So to get into the second corner, you're going to enlarge by chaining 3 in there, then you're going to chain 1, add another cluster of chain 3 double crochets. So that's how you enlarge your corner in each and every row. So after finishing your 2 double crochets, you're going to chain 1, then in the middle chain 1 space, you're going to only put a cluster of 3 double crochets, then chain 1 and proceed to the next one. I said depending on the number of chain 1 spaces in between there. So you will also realize that moving on with the rows, like that is the third row, you have only chain 1 space. Then when you get to the fourth row, you'll be having 2 chain 1 spaces in between the corners, so they will keep increasing as you make your increasement at the corners. So that's how your square enlarge. Even when you look close to the cloth that I was making, you see that I bet I'm at around the 20th round, and I have a lot of chain 1 spaces in between the corners. So in those chain 1 spaces, you only need to add 1 cluster of 3 double crochets. Yeah, so that's how you work with the granny square pattern. So I'm also going to leave a picture of the drawn diagram showing how you can do it. So it shows the parts of the granny square pattern. I'm going to show you, then leaving it behind to look it closely. So you're coming to the corner. At the corner, you're going to put 2 clusters of double crochets. Then I said in between the clusters, what you should not forget to put the chain 1 space that separates the 2 clusters and gives them a space to be in. When you forget to put the chain 1 space, your work will look like a circle. You won't have the squares or the corners well. So you're coming to the end of the third round, and that is the chain 1 space in between the corners. So you have to put 3 double crochets, that is only 1 cluster, then chain 1, and at the end, the last corner, you're going to put another 1 more cluster to complete that corner that you started with. So you'll be starting with half a corner, then go around and come and complete your corner, then chain 1 to give the space in between the 2 clusters and join them by making a slip stitch. So that's how you do it. Yeah, so make your own. You can tag me in any social media. Get me at Happy Knits and Crochet Collection at Instagram. You can find me at any social media at Happy Knits and Crochet Collection. So guys, thanks a lot for viewing, and welcome back.